Hey cuties, I'm Lanikia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is the Days of Our Lives edition. On a scale of 1 to 10, y'all know how we do. I'm going to give it an 8. It was solid to me. Today is Thursday, July the 7th, 2022. Let's jump right into this soap opera today, y'all. Woo, where do I start, y'all? Okay, so we see that Nancy is telling Leo about Clyde being arrested. They're gonna say he's real. I thought you made that man up. She said no, he's very much real, and he got caught with Abigail's jewelry. Now this spikes Leo's attention because y'all know he stole Abigail's jewelry, right? So this sparks his attention, and so he's asking her all these questions about her boyfriend and everything, and she answered them and telling him about how Rafe saw the jewelry and the bracelet on her arm, and he remembers that Clyde sold the jewelry for him, and he told him, "I kept the bracelet. Clyde, you shouldn't have kept none of it." But he knew it was hot, but he didn't know it was Abigail hot. But anyway, so Clyde did keep that bracelet, and Leo is remembering this, so he's putting pieces together like, oh my God, this man is the man that that's my person that I had to sell the jewelry, and now he in prison. And okay, so he's saying, Leo is like, I'm really sorry about Abigail. And she said, why are you asking me all these questions? He was like, well, I'm just so sorry about Abigail. So then Chloe comes up because she was over there with Belle. Now, EJ had been over there with Belle. Stay with me. EJ had been there with Belle. Like he was drinking. So after the funeral, he went there and he said, he wished he was closer to Chad and all the bad things he did to Chad and with Abigail and everything. And she said, but y'all are growing closer and stuff. So then EJ get a phone call and they tell him Clyde Weston has been arrested. And so he's like, I need to go and confess. And Belle said, as your attorney, I would not advise you do this. But he ain't listening to Belle. He said, okay, you gave your advice. Okay, that's good. But I'm going to go on down here and tell them what I know about Clyde and why he would want to hurt our family. All right. So then Chloe goes over and speaks to Belle. So when she goes over to speak to Belle and everything, they tell her about, Clyde being arrested. I mean, she tells Chloe was going over there because she was telling Belle that she had to stop Brady from coming over because he had spoke to Sean and he did a 180. And she said, what, he mad at me now? And she said, no, he just thinks that you and Sean need to talk and work it out, and he just wants to encourage y'all to do that. And she said, well, I'm glad you stopped him from coming over last night because he would have caught me in bed with EJ. And Chloe was like, Belle, I mean, Belle. You know our friend. So, anyways, she said, so that's when she found out about Clyde Weston. And she said, oh my gosh, I got to go tell my mom, And so then she leaves, right? So then this is when Chloe comes upon Leo and Nancy together, and she's like, Mom, is he bothering you? She's like, no, he just giving me the 3rd degree and everything. So then Leo was like, I'm sorry about Abigail and everything, and I'll leave y'all alone. And he goes on. And so then Chloe's like, Mom, I have something to tell you. Nancy said, I already know, but Clyde didn't kill no Abigail. Now he stole the jewelry, but he didn't kill Abigail. Now Leo is lurking in the back because he wants to listen to this. And she said, Mom, you can't believe this man is innocent. She said, he is innocent. She says, I've gotten to know Clyde. He wouldn't do that to Abigail. He wouldn't do that. She said, now he is guilty of, buying me jewelry that was stolen or whatever. She said, but all Clyde has to do is, it's called plea deal. All Clyde has to do is to tell them, the person who he bought the jewelry from, and then they'll know that's the person who killed Abigail. So Leo hears this, and then the fireworks start popping, girl. I said, Leo, you it for me, but oh my gosh, you finna be in trouble. Like, why, Leo? Why did you steal the jewelry when the girl had passed? Like, Abigail was still alive at that point. You could have called 911 to help her. Child, this ain't gonna end good for you. But anyways, so that's it with them, y'all. So then we see, who I want to go. So, it's so dramatic. It was so dramatic today. Who I want to go to today? Okay, so Rafe done told Chad about Clyde Weston having the jewelry. So Chad go in there and he started attacking Clyde. And Clyde said, son, he said, you don't call me that. He said, listen, I didn't kill Abigail. I didn't kill your wife or whatever. And so Ray finally gets Chad out of the room with Clyde, and he tells Chad, Clyde Weston is a garbage. He said, but he old garbage. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. He didn't kill your wife. He said, oh, why you bring me? He said because he might know. He's gonna lead us to the person who had the jewelry, and that's we're gonna find out who did it, who killed your wife and everything. He said, how can you be sure? And he said, because, he was like, that's not Clyde's MO right there. There's no motive. So then here come EJ giving him the motive, and he tells them the story about Clyde having him shot and how Clyde threatened his family, but he and Clyde made a deal that as long as he kept his mouth shut, everything was gonna be good. And so Chad go off on EJ, and I said, don't go off too hard, baby, because don't forget that you was the reason that EJ was in prison in the first place. Now I know you upset because your wife died, but we ain't see that funeral no ways. But I know you upset that your wife died and everything, and I feel bad for you. But don't go off too hard because you're not sitting over there innocent, sir, or whatever. And but I'm gonna give you for this one time I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. So he going off on EJ about why wouldn't you tell me this so I could protect my family and everything like this. But like EJ couldn't tell him or whatever because Clyde had said if you tell anybody I'm gonna hurt you, like that's the last thing he could do. And so but Chad is just like, you didn't do this, EJ. Clyde probably shot you because you was doing some kind of dirty deed, which he was. And that's why he shot you. And because you don't want all that information out, you're not telling the whole story or whatever. So even you coming down here is just damage control and all that. And, Rafe making his little comments. I said, Rafe, you cannot talk about anybody like y'all, these police officers on all the soaps garbage. Like, y'all don't be arresting nothing. Y'all don't be figuring anything out. Well, y'all just there so we could call you police officers, and so when the citizens do your job, that you can come and arrest people. Because I haven't seen you solve not one crime yet. Not one. Like, my gosh. So anyways, EJ leaves or whatever, and he goes home and he tells, he looked for Belle, but Belle ain't there, baby. So he tells us because he tells Stefano, he was like, you hear that? EJ wants me to Chad wants me to join you because Chad told EJ you go to hell. All right, so anyways, EJ tells excuse me. So then we see that Rafe goes in with Clyde and he tells him, you gonna like EJ came up in here and we're gonna be asking you some more questions. And he told EJ the same thing. I'm gonna be asking you some more questions about all the details that you didn't go into or whatever. Excuse me. Uh, okay, he said we're gonna be asking you more questions about all the details that you didn't go into or whatever. You know what? And Clyde is just like, because he know EJ singing like a canary. But I'm like, I don't remember if Clyde got Leo's name or not. But he not giving, if he has it, he's not giving it up because Clyde's old school like that where you wouldn't give it up. But I don't know if he has a name or not. He just know he ain't kill Abigail or whatever. So anyways, they that's then Rafe goes back out and Chad says send him a message. Tell him he's a dead man, whether he go to prison or he go free or whatever. And I said, well, he can't tell him that, Chad, because that is a threat. You can't threaten somebody, and especially not to the police. But Rafe did this because he wants Clyde to be scared of the DeMeros and all that, because he think that'll make Clyde give it up. And I just don't see Clyde like that. I'm sorry. I just don't see Clyde like that. Like there's some people, it doesn't matter like a name. Like it's just that's your name, okay. That's your last name, okay. Or whatever. So anyway, plus Clyde know he didn't do this. He was like, I didn't do this. So anyways, yeah, that's it with them. Let's move on. So we see that Belle. So Belle gets a call, and it's Sean, and he tells her, "I'm about to do something. I don't know what's gonna happen, but he just wants her to know that he loves her." And I think he said Claire, she and Claire, and this, and she was like, "Sean, what's going on?" But she got that find your family location. So she was like, "What you doing at the docks?" Child, he is at the docks because you know I like me some Jan, right? I know I'm toxic because y'all like, girl, you like everybody who's no good on these soaps. Give them a chance. But Jan is wrong for this. Like, she is so delusional. So Jan has taken the baby out of the nursery or whatever because Evan done put her foot to the fire. And she like, you not finna blow up my spot telling about my baby or whatever. Because she wants Sean, so she takes the baby out of the nursery or whatever, and they let her get away with that. I said, I thought the baby was in the NIC unit, and I didn't know. Okay, well, okay, it's a soap. Let's play along. And so she gets out of the hospital, and Sean, goes to the nursery. He sees the baby's gone, so he puts out an APB on Jan about the baby, and then he gets a call from Evan, and because Evan was like, where's my baby? Like, she ain't hitting me up. I don't know nothing. He don't know no information or anything. So he calls Sean, right? And so Sean says, I don't have time for this, Evan. And then he hears Sean say, um, you know, put out an APB. My Jan Spears has stole my baby and everything. So then Evan like, oh, I'm cool. And he hangs up because he thinks that Jan is going to come to him, right? All right. So then Jan calls Sean because she went over to the docks on Living in Sin, and she tell him, come on over here. And he says, Jan, the baby is a preemie. He needs to be in the hospital. She said, no, I'm his mother. I know what he needs. And she says, come on over here where I am, but don't tell anybody. Don't tell the police. Don't bring help. Don't do nothing. Just you come or whatever. He like, fine, okay, cool. Because Sean is at this point, he just wanting to protect the baby or whatever. So he go over there to the docks and everything. Now, while this is all going on, Evan has Orpheus comes in, and Evan is all upset, and he says, and Orpheus says, I know you're still upset, but you're gonna be seeing your baby soon enough. And he said, it's sooner than you think. He said, what you talking about? And so Evan starts to tell him about how he called Jan and told her to come, and Orpheus said, oh my God. Oh my God, I am dazed by your stupidity. Orpheus had me hollering on this episode. He said, I am dazed by your stupidity. Are you telling me Jan Spears is smarter than you? He said, that woman is a convicted felon. Why would she steal a baby and come here? I said, tell him, Orpheus. Evan, think. And so Evan started thinking about that, and he said, I'm going to get her for betraying me. No, you're not. You're not going to do nothing. So Orpheus said, I'm going to get her. I'm going to tell Sean Brady that baby is mine. And he said, well, no, this is what you're not going to do. He said, because that baby is our way out of here or whatever, and we're not going to tell Sean, because Jan is not going to tell Sean. So he said, we're not going to tell anything. He said, what you need to do is be patient, because this is a long game. He had to explain it to him again. This is a long game, and this is gonna be our last 4th of July being locked up, because they see the fireworks too. He said this is gonna be our last 4th of July being locked up. So what, you want the baby to come visit you for 10 minutes every other weekend, or do you want to raise your son? And he was like, Evan started thinking about it. He was like, so be without your son right now, and then you're gonna have him in custody or whatever, because who's gonna get that baby to Jan? Nobody. Now I don't think it's gonna be as easy as they think when it comes to Sean, but technically he ain't gonna have rights to the baby, but I don't know. But anyways, so Orpheus gets Evan back under control or whatever, and so Evan is, he gonna play along, which you should have did this in the first place. So then we go to Sean. So Sean makes it to the docks or whatever, and Jan is holding the baby, and she tells Sean, did you come alone? He said, yes. What, Jan, where's the baby? The baby needs to be in the hospital. She says, no, the baby is fine. He's with me. And he was like, Jan, just give me the baby. She said, you want the baby? Here. And she tossed the baby. I said, that ain't the baby. And then all these oranges and I think it was oranges, grapefruit starts falling or whatever. And I said, this girl is girl, what's wrong with you? And she said, no, Sean, I would never hurt the baby and everything. He don't know that. You fox, crazy. And so she said, I would never hurt the baby or anything, Sean. And I just want you to come with me. And he says, Jan, we can't do this. And she was like, listen, you gonna come with me one way or the other. Baby, Jan picked up that oar and she knocked Sean smooth out, because she told him the baby is up in, on the boat. And so he going up to the boat, and she knocked Sean smooth out with that oar. And I said, this girl really is crazy as a fox. And so, but at this time, Bella came up, and Bella's like, Jan, what did you do? And I said, Bella, why you just didn't knock her out? Why you got to say something? And so Jan is like, what are you doing here? And so then they start tussling or whatever. And they fighting over the oar. And then Belle pushed Jan down. And then she picks up the oar and hits Jan with the oar. And Jan go into the water. And then Sean, uh, what happened? And then she tell him, me and Jan fought, and I knocked her out or whatever. And he said, go check on her. She said, let me get help. He said, go get the baby. She said, baby? He said, the baby's on the boat. So she run up to the boat and get the baby. And then he said, where Jan at? So she said, she fell into the water. So Sean jumps into the water. She said, Sean, no, you might have a concussion. And so then Sean get out the water. He said, I couldn't find her. And she was like, oh, well. I said, Jan is not, like, ma'am ain't dead. Y'all know Jan's not dead. Evil never dies. And so that's how the Days of Our Lives went out today, guys. If I missed anything, charge that to my head and not my heart, as they say in the church. Anyways, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Even if you don't subscribe, that's okay. I'll still be doing these videos for you. But hit that like button for me, and I will see you tomorrow for the Friday episode. All right, bye.